Hey everybody, Wayne here. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at my top 6 Solitaire Wargames of 2020. I was asked to do one of these kind of top lists last year. I never got around to doing it. I suppose I could always go back and do it, and I may for 2019. But what I want to do is I want to do one for 2020. Now, these are so a couple criteria here. Let's establish this. First of all, they're not in an order, not in ranked. I'm gonna show them in, I believe, the order they were published. If the order's off a little bit, it is what it is, but it's not an order of my favorite. It's just an order of when they're published, as far as I can kind of figure out. Also, I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of other great games. There may be better games that even I would enjoy better that I haven't played yet. Unfortunately, I have not played every Solitaire game from 2020. I'm sure I never will. But these are the ones that out of the ones I've played, these are the ones that I'm showing off here. Now, most of them, in fact, looking at them, I think all of them I have covered on my channel to a certain degree. Some more than others, but all of them are ones, and it kind of goes with it, right? Is that if I love a game, if I really enjoy it, odds are I'm going to do more videos on it. Because there's games that I get in, whether they're sent to me, I buy them, whatever, and I play them, and I'm just like, and I just kind of move on. I don't generally enjoy making videos on, games I really dislike. It's just not fun for me, because what happens usually is if I play a game and I don't like it, I just don't play it anymore. I don't dwell on it. I don't need, I trade it to someone, sell it, whatever. I don't sit there and dwell on it. So with this list, yeah, I'm excited to show these games off. Like I said, they've all been on my channel before, but maybe, you've never seen, maybe you'll just Google this video and you'll happen to find it. You'll take a look at these. You can look at my channel, look at other channels that have covered these videos, whatever. I just would love to give these games a little more exposure because I think that they are all worthy of it. And of course, this does not mean there aren't other games that I really enjoyed that didn't make the list, but I just had to cut it off somewhere. So, all right. And before I jump in, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel this year. My number of subscribers has, I think, doubled this year. We're well over 1,000 and climbing quickly. I really appreciate it. So if you haven't subscribed yet, but you do watch my videos, I would appreciate a subscription. If this is one of your first time watching a video, first of all, hope you enjoyed the blank screen here. Don't worry, we're gonna get some games and some pictures up here. But thank you for taking the time to watch, and comment below. Let me know what your favorites are for 2020. So again, these are Solitaire Wargames. I think it's enough of an intro, right, guys? What do we got? 3 minutes? Oh, let's dive in. Let's dive in. So for the first game, one of my favorites, top 6 here of 2020. This was, again, I'm going by order of publication. So this was very early. I think this was January of 2020, I believe. And that is Ostkrieg, World War II Eastern Front, designed by Mitchell Ledford and Gregory M. Smith, published by Compass Games. Now, this is one that, if I recall correctly, it's the Gregory M. Smith Pacific. He did Pacific Tide, which is this based on the same engine. And then I believe Mitchell Ledford did this version. I'm sure Greg Smith had some input on it. But this is one that was, I hate to say this, somewhat panned upon release, at least by a couple people. But when I got it and I played it, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I love this game. Now, is it perfect? No. But I'll tell you, none of the games in this list are perfect. So this is obviously the Eastern Front. It's card driven. I'll take a little pic, and you guys should see some pictures. I'll have some pictures pop up on the screen. That way you guys can see those, kind of see some more besides just what I, see it set up, things like that. So this can be played either 2-player or it has a solitaire component. I don't believe there was much for errata, 1 or 2 things maybe. But what I like about it is fairly simple. It's card driven, like I said, fairly simple, but it allows you to play and have actually a bot that can either play as, you have your solitaire aid here, a bot that can play either as the Soviet Union or as the Germans. And it has, it has rules for each of the years, the different priorities. It would have annual priorities. It's hexen movement, like area movement. It's not hex and counter, or it's not hex, excuse me. It's counter, right? So it's like area movement and counter. Again, you take a look at the pictures I'm putting up here. See there's the errata right there. Not too much, just a few things. And I don't know, I just liked it. What can I say? I thought it flowed very well. It's easy to play, super quick, kind of bucketed dice style. As you can see, all the dice. I had a lot of fun with that. I did enjoy it. It's not perfect. It's not, necessarily super in-depth on every little facet of the Eastern Front. We're also talking about a game that you can play and knock out an entire game in, 2 or 3 hours. 2 hours if you're really familiar with the system, maybe full 3.5 if you're not. I'd say that's pretty reasonable to be able to set up a game and play through an entire, game with a whole bunch of counters in 3.5 hours. I think that's pretty reasonable. So, Ostkrieg, World War II Eastern Front from Compass Games. I enjoy this one. One of my favorites. A surprise one that, especially after I heard some negative things when I got to play it, I said, no, I like it. And that's what this list is about. These are games that I like. I enjoy Solitaire. So if you like the Eastern Front, definitely I think it's maybe one worth checking out. All right. Now, secondly, we're going to get into a huge one. This was also published in January, I believe. Kickstarted. Oh, it's a heavy box. Space Infantry Resurgence from Lock and Load Publishing. So this one, I know you guys can't feel the weight, but this is a big box crammed full of goodies. This is basically a solitaire game only. It does have, I think, some rules for like co-op play and stuff like that. I've never played those. I don't know how good they are, but I can tell you as a solitaire game, this one's fantastic. Again, this is one that I have some videos on my channel for. There is so much you get with this game. Even just the base box. There's a big expansion box. It's about that thick also. That's just filled with extra stuff. But even this one is just the base box. It's just, look at all this stuff, right? Just cards, maps, more cards, like all these different bad guys, the different aliens that we're going to be fighting. So with this one, you're going to be going on missions. You're going to build a squad. Think of... building a squad of space infantry here, right? And they're going to have different equipment with them. You're going to select equipment. You're going to send them on missions and then go on these missions. And these cards, they don't look super exciting when you first see them, right? Like this here. This would be basically like a mission board here. But what happens is you have other cards. They get randomly placed in these different locations depending on the type of card. And you never know what it is. And there's going to be a requirement to enter that. And so you're going to start off, at the very beginning of it. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to be moving through. And you're going to be trying to, move through from space to space. And while that's happening, you're going to be rolling for events. You're going to have monsters that pop up, different aliens, critters, creatures, whatever. Mercenaries. And you're going to have to fight them. Hopefully you have the right equipment. Hopefully you have the right squad mix, etc. And there's just so much here. And that's just like the base game. There's actually other modes. There's like a horde mode. There's space hive mode. I'm telling you, if you were like, okay, I want one kind of science fiction-y war game, but I want a ton of content in one box, this is the one for you. You literally, I haven't played all of it. I played it quite a bit when it came out. I played it for a while afterwards. I went back to it a few times, and there's like a big bad guy. Like, look at that. Like, there's just so much stuff in this game. I don't even know what all this stuff is. It's like popping out of nowhere. So much stuff in this game. Space Infantry Resurgence. I think it's still available. I know when I talked to, because I had worked with Lock and Load Publishing a little bit on getting kind of an updated player aid for sequence of play, and then going through their errata and clarifications document with them and with Blackwell Herd. I think it's still available in print. Hopefully it is, because I definitely think if you have any interest in this theme, having that space infantry running a squad, fighting different creatures as you're trying to make your way through different environments, and just a lot of replayability, a lot of different modes. Space Infantry Resurgence is one you should check out. All right, 2 down, 4 to go. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay. So this one is a much lighter, not in a gameplay sense, but lighter in a box sense, and that is the First Jihad, The Rise of Islam, 632 to 750. And this is from White Dog Games, but the designers, I had their names on the tip of my tongue. It should be Arbed Madison and Wes Ernie. Yep. So this is now getting into kind of the classic. This is a States of Siege style game. Let's go ahead and bust her open. And what I love about this one is that it covers a topic that I have never played, never read a lot on, didn't know a lot about. And that's what sometimes you want to play a game, right, that it's on a topic and understand, right? Battle of the Bulge, you want to know about that. Pacific War and during World War II or whatever, right? Roman Empire at its height, something like that. Maybe you really want to do it. You want to play a game based on that because you already know those topics. You love that part of history. Well, here's something that I didn't know anything about. And in this game, there's a lot to it, though. So it's the best part. I mean, I shouldn't say the best part. There's just a lot of good parts to this game. So you are, first of all, let's start off with this. I think very, very good map. Very nice. Easy to read, easy to see, just like beautiful little map. And you are working to, quote unquote, hold back, right? And this was kind of a reverse States of Siege. So normally in a States of Siege game, you start off in the middle, right? And everyone's coming in towards you. Well, in this game, like Islam starts in the middle here and works its way out. And you are playing the different factions, the different groups, and you're trying to hold it back in. Card driven, as you saw, you know, it's Stage C style, so you flip a card and it tells you what happens. And it's got a unique function with this rose, the rose activation where when you flip a card, first of all, it's got a lot of flavor text, but it has special events. It has this rose here, which then tells you certain things of whatever you get, how many points you get, and then it tells you how many, consider it like attacks or actions are taken in the different parts of the map. All on one card, and like I said, a big paragraph of history text, something that just puts you in the mood, right? Gives you a bit of history, you know, helps educate you, or you know, maybe not you, maybe just me, maybe I didn't know a whole lot about the First Jihad, the rise of Islam, you know, in 632 to 750 AD, but I love that part of it, right? I love learning while playing an excellent design game. It's heavier for a States of Siege game, on the heavier end. And there's nothing wrong with that. It covers a fairly serious topic, and it does a great job with it. This is one that if you like States of Siege, you want to be something, you know, you like games, you're familiar with that, you just love those types of solitaire games. Super easy to get into, but takes a long time to really master because it's got a big basic game and it has an advanced game. And let me tell you, the basic game is kind of complicated as is. So the advanced game is really going to get into it. You're really going to have a lot in play. Different forces interacting, and that's a lot of the fun of the First Jihad from White Dog Games, Wes Ernie, and Arbed Madison. So definitely recommend that one. All right, moving on. So that's 3, so we're halfway there. We have 3 more to go. Let me go ahead and check my little cheat sheet here. Okay, here we go. So the next one is another smaller box game. This was published in August of 2020, it looks like. And this is Stilicho, Last of the Romans by Robert Dulesky, published by Hollandspiel. So this one is based on... what is it based on? I can look around and see if I can have it right in front of me. Where is it? Oh, Wars of Marcus Aurelius, of course. Covering all these games. Usually I cover one game at a time, guys, so I'm not used to covering multiple games at once. So it's based on Wars of Marcus Aurelius, the same system anyway. And obviously, though, this takes place during the quote-unquote reign. He wasn't really the reign, he was an emperor, but the life of Stilicho, General Stilicho, which was around 400 AD. So we're talking late Roman Empire, very late, getting close to the fall of the Western Empire. What they did with this one, though, in my opinion, they took Wars of Marcus Aurelius, which was a fantastic game, and refined it, improved it, and made like the definitive game based on this system and this series. So what's not to love about it? First of all, you have great artwork, very good components. You can see the artwork on the back of the cards, the Roman deck, the enemy deck. The chits, they look good. Super simple, but they look very good. You get some fun, like that draw deck one, draw on enemy cards. It's actually like a cloth canvas. And with a great artwork on the back of it. And then the map. The map is fantastic. I love the look of this map. So in this game, and yeah, you know what? It's kind of, you know, based on States of Siege again, because that's just a great system, right? It's a great system for Solitaire Wargames. But doesn't this map beautiful? I love it. When it's set up and it's laying flat and you got, it's just beautiful. You know, you have the different groups coming. You have Constantine III. You have the Vandals, the Goths. They're coming in hot, and you got to hold them back, right? And at the same time, You have to worry about Olympius back in Ravenna, who's working against you. And so you not only do you not need, Rome or Ravenna sacked, but Stilicho gets executed if, you fall out of favor too much. Yeah, so you're balancing. It's a balancing act. You're playing cards, and what I like about this one, especially, and if you're familiar with Wars of Marcus Aurelius, is the fact that the card-driven, and not card-driven in the sense we just flip a card and that's what happens, but the fact that you have cards, you have like a hand of cards, and so you are playing these cards when you feel it's necessary. And you're playing them, the classic, you either play them for the event, play them for an action, but you get to decide so you're managing a hand of cards, and depending on what's going on, you may be able to keep some till the next turn, or you may not. And you decide when to use them, when to do an action, when to fight, when to retreat. It just brings an extra depth to a States of Siege game that you don't often see. I love it. I love the system. I loved it with Wars of Marcus Aurelius. I love it in this game. I just think he refined it, right? They took what was already a great system and refined it. And I don't know if this game is getting enough credit, just because maybe, and my only thought is based on the fact that it's, Stilicho instead of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius is a much more renowned figure in history versus Stilicho. But the game itself, and it's fantastic. And of course, you get some history in the back. You're going to be able to read, if I can open the rulebook here, you're going to be able to read some design notes, enemy card notes, Roman card notes here, and then, so you can see the design notes, and then, hang on one second, there we go, chronology of the early 5th century, and you can read through that. So even if you're not familiar, if you're like, well, I don't know anything about the late Roman Empire, it has everything you need right here to get yourself started and get yourself hooked. And trust me, once you're playing the game, you're going to love it. So, Stilicho, Last of the Romans, big fan of this one as well. All right, 4 down, 2 more to go. What do we got here? Oh, okay. Now this one we're getting towards the end of 2020. These are 2 I did want to include. The last one, very end of 2020, but I just wanted to include it because I didn't want to get lost in 2021. So, all right, now this one published November 2020. It is Chancellorsville, 1863. Designed by Maurice Suckling, published by Worthington. This is a bigger box game, kickstarted, more traditional published game. This is one that is 2-player, really 2-player designed, but has an amazing solitaire bot. It's not without its flaws. Some of the rules you kind of have to learn. You kind of have to have some questions. But the designer, Maurice, has been awesome. He's answered questions for me. I've communicated with him myself via email. Great guy, fun to talk to, and supports his games. Now, this is based on a system from Freeman's Farm, 1777, I believe. But this one is the first one I've gotten to play. And let me tell you, it is fantastic in so many ways. First of all, the component quality is tremendous. So, I know you guys see my little cheat sheets. That does not come with it. That's my little cheat sheet I made. So with this game like this, we're looking at a mounted map, a full mounted map. We're looking at... I know there's not going to be able to fit it all on the screen, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to try to put up some pictures, like I said, so you guys can see. Hopefully there's some pictures on the screen for you guys. But it's just this full mounted map, and I kind of want to put it out here quick so you guys can see it in action a little bit. And what it is it's like it's got little block figures, almost like, I don't know what else would be, but they're moving around, and there's these hidden movement. So the game either has, when you're playing a 2-player, you have a shield you put up in the corner here, and you would block your hidden movement map, so your units are moving hidden from the other player. Or if you're playing solitaire, there's a hidden movement track where the game units, whatever side you're playing, because you can play as either side, which is awesome, you can Confederates or the Union, will actually be drawing, and it'll determine what they do, and then based on the rules and on the cards, where they appear on the map, and suddenly, they're fighting you, they flanked you, or they're right in front of you, or whatever. I just love the way it works. It's got fun little things like these tactics cards you can buy that, you can use and play. But the way he was able to take what is clearly a very 2-player type thing, right? Hidden movement, right? Think of like a block war game, right? Like Fog of War, hidden movement. That's a very 2-player thing. That's not really, it doesn't really work in solitaire games, right? it works in this one because of the way the bot is, because he took the time to make this hidden movement track and everything like that. You can have you can cover a battle, Chancellorsville, which in history, right, was very much about maneuver and about not knowing where the forces were, not knowing where your enemy's forces were, and the Confederates able to march around and flank the Union. And the Union had no idea that was happening, right? You can kind of do that in this game because of the way this is designed, right? It's designed for effect, I believe. Fantastic job. You're not going to see, as far as I'm concerned, I have never played a better game on Chancellorsville, or Solitaire game, I should say, only because he's able to take a battle that just is all about hidden movement, and it's about those things that normally don't translate to Solitaire, and is able to make a tremendous Solitaire game. So the components, like I said, comes with this plastic insert, the cards, linen finish cards, very nice cards. You have the blocks with the formation names on them, a bunch of dice. Just a great package here, a great game. Something I really enjoy. That is Chancellorsville, 1863. All right. What are we down to? Down to last one, guys. Okay. This is the last one I'm covering on this list. This was kickstarted and released at the very end of the year. I call it December of 2020. So this video is going up in January. Should go up in January. This game just came out, but I believe I consider it a 2020 game because, like I said before, I didn't want to get caught up in 2021 and get lost in the shuffle by the end of 2021. And that game is The Shores of Tripoli, strategy game by Kevin Bertram, published by Fort Circle Games. I believe this is his first game, and hopefully won't be the last, because this one is a gem. This may be the most, out of my list here, this may be the most mainstream of my games. So, if you guys know my channel, I do cover a lot of smaller publishers, right? We saw White Dog Games, we saw Hollandspiel, Lock and Road Publishing, and Worthington. They're bigger. Compass Games, bigger, obviously, but I love to cover smaller publishers just because they put a lot of great Solitaire games. And this may be a new publisher, but I've seen this game played on the Dice Tower, right? So if the Dice Tower's looking at a game, it's kind of mainstream, at least as far as board games go. So, but I didn't want to put it on this list because I'll just tell you, I had a great time with it. This is a fantastic design, simple but with a lot of depth. So the Shores of Tripoli covers a conflict that, like some of these I talked about, like First Jihad, I had no idea. I didn't really know a lot about. I mean, I knew about it, right? We all learned the first Barbary War in history. But how much do we really know about it? Well, a couple of things with this. First off, and if I can find it, it's under here. The game comes with historical supplement and designer's notes. So it comes with an entire separate booklet that's going to give you history of the First Barbary War. At the same time, it's going to have his designer notes at the end, including suggested bibliography. So you get a great resource that comes with the game. And I actually read through this before I even read the rules, before I started the game. I read through this from front to back and made sure that I at least had that familiarity with the conflict. And it really helped. And it made me more interested in the game itself. So speaking of which, the game itself, which, by the way, here's another fun thing. This is the letter that I believe Thomas Jefferson sent to the leader of the Tripolitan. Just great that it's in there. A lot of just fun historical aspect. Not needed, but a lot of fun. Game itself, so you got a nice mounted map here, and it's a card-driven game, CDG style, and you have cards for them, cards for the United States. You do play we play Solitaire, right? So it's either 2-player or you play it Solitaire. You play it Solitaire, you are the United States playing against the Tripolitan forces. But it's just this really nice looking, gorgeous mounted map. Very simple, very easy everything to read. I love how it looks. When I first saw it, I kind of questioned the circles and stuff. I was like, well, this kind of looks a little weird. No. It works great. It works really well. And it plays super easy and well. You get a lot of dice, which you're going to be rolling, but in a fun way. It works very well. And you got love these components. So you actually have little wooden ships, you have gold coins. Okay. Necessary? No, right? You could have had counters, whatever. But it works really well. And the way, because you're not doing hundreds of them, instead it's just a couple dozen maybe. It's not too much to handle. They fit in the big circles very easily. Everything manages very well. Well, as you're playing it, you know, it's that classic card-driven game design where, you know, you can use a card for an event. You can use it for, you know, let's say this Tom Jefferson card, right? Move up to 8 American frigates, resolve any battle as a result. Or you could discard it and use it for a separate action. You always have to balance, right? I have my cards available. Do I use them for the event? Can I use it for the event? Do I use it for this specific action I want to take? I want to move something. I want to build gunboats, whatever you want to do. Play through a couple games. You're going to be flying super quick. You're going to be playing cards. And the way the solitaire aspect works, you'll have their cards lined up and you'll kind of run through them. And then at the back of the rulebook as well, it'll have a little guide, solitaire card play requirements. And so for each of the cards that are out here, and you're, okay, do I play this one? Do I play that one? You just look it up quick. Boom. You'll know when and or what scenario you'll play it. You play a game or two solitaire, you'll have it down. First game, yeah, you're going to be looking at this chart constantly, trying to figure out, wait, do I play that? When do I play it? But trust me, by your third game, not a problem. You'll have it all figured out. So this one, Shores of Tripoli, like I said, kind of a mainstream style game. It looks like it's going to be. When you're seeing it on Dice Tower, right, you probably don't need, and that's something where when I looked at it, I said, should I even cover this? Do I need to? I don't go for the mainstream games. That's not what my channel's about. But here's the deal. This covers history. You've got war. It's absolutely a war game. The system is great. It's something that I would love to see in more games. Not because I don't like this one, but because I just want to see it continue. So in that reason, I was like, you know what? I am going to cover it because I do want everyone to have a chance to take a look at this one. And whether it's, you know, a little more mainstream than the others, I don't think really matters. Ultimately, it's a fun game. It's a blast. I'm sure it's fun two-player, but it's also a blast solitaire. So that is the Shores of Tripoli. All right, everybody. That is my list of the top 6 games, Solitaire Wargames from 2020. Let me know your choices below. I had plenty that I couldn't include that I had a lot of fun with. The Mission from White Dog Games, Crusader Kingdoms from Worthington, Aurelian Restore of the World from Hollandspiel, Atlantic Wolves from Canvas Temple Publishing. Tons of games that I had a lot of fun with that I wanted to limit the list to at least the 6. Probably should only done 5 or less, but you know what? You got 6. So hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you played them below, what games you like. What's your top 5, top 6, top 3? What's your favorite one? Just one. Give me one game, post it below. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video. I can, you know, talk about some ones that you guys mentioned, especially if I played them, or ones I need to discover. So, 'cause I'm always looking for more games to play. So, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time. Later.